Welcome to the Strata.
There's two of them following me. I know that for sure.
Hand over the package and we'll let you go.
You'll let me go? Oh, that's cute. The first bullet hits me in the chest, sends me staggering back a step.
The Strata. In a dystopian city, an aging courier is forced to go into business with an underworld gang lord in order to pay for the treatment that keeps him alive. Check out The Strata anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Mishki here, joining the GL world to pitch my new podcast, which now comes out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. The show features an extraordinary array of exotic circus performers, forgotten Hollywood starlets, reclusive Fortune 500 CEOs, professional taxidermists. Yep, wait a minute, that's a different promo. Where's the promo for GLers? Here it is, let's try this again. Mishki here, pitching my new podcast. We're out of time? Could I do it again?
This is the Weekly Scramble, a place where we chat about life over a cold one or two. It's time to belly up to the pod with Mike Fratelloni and your host, Chris Reavers.
That's right. It's time for the Weekly Scramble podcast. My name is Chris Reavers. With me, as always, his name is Mike Fratelloni. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Reavers. It is Veterans Day.
It is, and thank you to each and every single one of you that served. I got to tell you, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the coolest experiences I ever had was 27 years ago for Veterans Day. Mm-hmm. I was in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
And I went to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and also saw the Iwo Jima, do you call it a sculpture?
Sure.
Whatever you call at sunset.
Oh.
One of the most moving things I have ever been a part of. I was there with, well, she wasn't my girlfriend then, but Jess was there, and her roommate, we road tripped out there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because her roommates, we didn't know that at the time, but she was married to this guy, even though she called him her boyfriend, and he was stationed out in Washington, D.C. So we went there on Veterans Day. One of the coolest things I've ever done. It was just a very impromptu, let's just go.
Yeah, that's very cool.
You know, it was super cool.
Kind of a great town.
Yeah, and you know, obviously we didn't tour the White House, but we got a cool photo outside of the White House, outside of the Lincoln Memorial. It was very, very cool. I was really glad we did that.
I have two male nephews, and one of them served in the military. So today I spent a little time and sent him a thank you so much for serving text message. Then the other one, I just sent him a text saying thanks for nothing. Right? You've done nothing for this country. And I don't know if he got it. I don't know if I...
That's what your cool Uncle Mike.
His brother, I had to really say a lot of thanks to Scott. To Stephen, thanks for nothing.
Thanks for nothing,
Thanks for
Stephen.
doing nothing.
Right.
You and I did nothing.
All right, so I brought up something mistakenly to Joe because this was a subject I wanted to talk to you about today on the show. Not that I was hiding material from Joe, but we're playing a little bit undermanned this week because Kenny Olson is out, and so is Johnny Height. And
both of those guys at the same time?
Yeah, Johnny. I can say this because Johnny posted about it on Facebook. Johnny lost and again. John and I disagree about things from time to time. John Height is probably one of my top 5 favorite people I've ever worked with in radio.
Incredibly nice man.
And unfortunately, Johnny had to say goodbye to his brother and also his sister-in-law within the last couple of days. So I believe he is back in North Dakota visiting family and taking care of those things. Yeah, no, and again, I haven't called Johnny yet, but I think it's okay because he posted about this on Facebook.
He did.
So
yep.
Anyway, and then Kenny, I believe, is deer hunting. So he's out killing.
Sure.
Anywho. But I brought this up in passing to Joe, and I'll phrase it this way. I was trying to explain the world of AI and computer-generated content to the mayor, Joe Soucheray. And I bring this up because it's almost as if you take your dog and you have your dog sit in the front seat of your car, and you're trying to teach your dog how to drive a stick shift.
I mean, an automatic would be easy, but a stick...
Right. It's basically the same, mouth open, head tilted.
He's got to get it. Joe's a bright man.
He is, but there's so much of this stuff that it just kind of goes way over his head. So let me explain. So there was a story that surfaced, I believe it was this morning, if I'm not mistaken. The number one country song in America is by a non-human artist. It's an AI-generated song that has reached number 1 in the Billboard charts in a first for the music industry. The top-selling song this week on Billboard's country digital sales chart is Walk My Walk, an artificially generated country track by an artist named Breaking Rust. First surfacing on Instagram in mid-October, Breaking Rust's music featured AI-generated clips of lonesome cowboys on the dusty road and quickly accrued millions of streams on Spotify. The composer of the track is credited only as Abrive Rivaldo Taylor, who also runs a separate AI music project called Def Bastai, which produces raunchy country music. Clips of the song posted to the artist's Instagram are often labeled asking AI to make a hit country song. The phenomenon comes months after an AI-generated rock band called The Velvet Sundown made headlines after one of their songs racked up millions of plays on streaming platforms. I'm not quite exactly sure what avenue I want to take this down, but I have to say this. I was talking to somebody about this less than a week ago, a friend of mine, and I don't want to name this person. They don't work in this market, but they do work in radio. And I was talking to a friend of mine about this within the last week. And basically how I pointed it out is, this is the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. The days of... I shouldn't say the days of the likes of Taylor Swift, because there's always going to be the mega superstar that's always going to make a lot of money.
Maybe.
But this is the future of the music industry. Yeah. It just is.
It's already over. It's already over. Why would you pay Taylor Swift $1 billion, or you can sit down at your computer and 20 minutes later write a hit country song? And when I say write a hit country song, you say to AI, let's use all your intelligence of every song that you've ever listened to in the world about country music and write one that you think would be a hit song. And 4 seconds later, it's out.
And I thought about something that you did maybe a year ago, whatever that was. You took one of Joe's columns.
And turned it into a podcast.
You put it into, I don't remember what platform you used. You turned it into a segment of a podcast.
Like a 30-minute podcast.
With 2 voices that sounded authentic. Yep. They sounded real. They were all computer generated.
Much better than us.
And that's just what the future's going to be.
That is exactly what the future is going to be. It is here, Reavers. It's here. Nothing that we will see going forward will we ever know, like just in a handful of months,
right,
whether it's real or not. We'll never, every star that you like, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, all these stars, they're the last of the Hollywood stars. Because why would you ever pay a star any amount of money to be in your movie when your movie is AI generated?
And so this same person that I was discussing this matter with said he was informed of a movie that was already, I can't remember if he said in production or already out amongst us, that had absolutely no actors in it, had absolutely no authentic music.
Generic lyrics. When you listen to some of the shit that's out there right now, it could not be more. Who let the dogs out? Who? Someone wrote that line.
Right.
That's a generic lyric.
And, that's why I've been really, really hesitant about, I've really pushed back on, tablets and iPhones and social media with my 2 sons, because my oldest just turned 14. My youngest is about to turn 11 in a couple of weeks, and they're right in the heart of manipulation when it comes to that very thing. So I am watching that stuff like a hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because you have to.
And the stuff that can be in front of them that isn't real, where they could be fooled by it, is super harmful.
Well, and that's, I guess, what I'm really, really concerned about, because if you spend 5 seconds on social media, anytime I see a video, I say, well, this has got to be fake.
AI, yeah.
This has got to be generated.
Every time.
Every single one of these. Unless it's an actual news clip, right? And I can't imagine how difficult that industry's got to be. Like our friends downstairs right now at KSTP and others are saying, well, is this footage real?
That's why local news will start to mean more. Right? Local, real people news will start to mean more.
Trusted sources, yeah.
I did see from this story about this Billboard chart, #1 chart topping song, this country song, it said, industry leaders debate whether fans will care how music is created if it's AI or generated with real people. And I want to tell the industry right now, those that are in charge of the industry, no one's going to care.
Nope.
They're not even going to know. They're not even going to think if there's a star behind that. Or they're going to go to a concert from an AI-generated robot that's going to play the concert, and my kids are going to say, I love Robot Billy. He's just the best.
Yeah.
And they're not even going to know the difference between human and humanoid anymore.
I'm going to take it a step further.
Yeah.
What's going to end up happening is we've already seen this very thing play out, and I brought this up earlier, but I'll repeat it again. The Sphere had a series of shows featuring, I believe it was Michael Jackson, in which obviously it was artificially
holograms. Yep,
yeah, it was all holograms. Yep. There was the one with Tupac. They had a tour of Tupac years ago where it was hologram. That's what live music is going to become. It's going to become, I played you the robot pancake song, okay?
Sure.
And that's going to be the new form of kids shows. Those videos generate so much activity. That one video that I played for you had 9 million views. That's huge content.
And it's someone sitting. What I think we're missing out on is that video wasn't generated in 18 hours worth of work. It's generated by somebody sitting down at a computer for 5 minutes and telling the computer that we need to generate this.
This is what I did as Joe was doing the story today. Or as Joe and Rook were, oh my God, as Joe and Rookie were trying to break down how AI-generated content works, which was hilarious. I did this in the 30 seconds that it took them.
Garage Logic Podcast with a fake Mayor Joe Suture. Euphorians are bad. Rookie thinks lawyers work in coffee shops. Reuvers talks too fast during his ads.
Did Joe say, how long did that take you?
Yes.
And you said like 30 seconds or a minute?
I said not even 30 seconds.
However fast you can state or type the prompt is how long it takes.
And he had this befuddled look on him saying, well, I said, Joe, this is the world. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in.
But Joe's a true artist, and he thinks that still has some cachet, and it no longer does.
Well, and that's the shame of it, because what's going to end up happening is a lot of talented people that have that creative skill, they'll still have somewhat of a role in some of this. Where Joe has name recognition.
Sure,
Joe's a very good and accomplished writer and a very good host, an accomplished host. But so he will always have, as long as he wants to work, he will always have a role. But those that are trying to start into this business or break through in the music industry, unless you have a sex tape that falls. You're just not going to get that kind of cachet and notoriety.
A sex tape that you would have would never be as good as an AI-generated sex tape.
Of course not.
Especially in my case. Don't have pimples on my ass, but I might.
It does break my heart, but unfortunately, this is the world that we now live in.
Let me push this to another level even.
Okay.
Sid Hartman. We all loved Sid Hartman. Would you like to hear more from Sid Hartman?
Me personally?
I mean, okay, I didn't want to take it to anybody we know closely.
Okay.
Right? I didn't want to take it to anybody on GL. But let's just say...
But no, there would be, absolutely, if let's say, I'm just going to use them, but let's say the neighbor, WCCO, decided, hey, we're going to create some type of program with him. I guarantee you people would listen to it.
100%, because he was a real person that we remembered. Let's say Joe, 20, 30 years from now, passes away. Still doing the show all that time. We have all of that data, years worth of data. We can keep Joe's show going forever. We can literally keep Joe's show going forever. And it might be as good. It might be not as good. We might not know that Joe's dead or alive. Hell, Joe might not even be, I'm air quoting, dead anymore, because he lives on. His brain and his soul lives on through AI. You know, one thing else that I think is coming that we need to talk about?
What?
Do you have to go to a break?
Yes.
Okay, let me save this.
Tease it, though. Go ahead.
It's the next biggest thing. Someone said, and it's a guy with reputation, that this is going to be the biggest product in the history of anything sold in the world. This will be the biggest product ever. More than cell phones, more than cars, more than fax machines. Anything.
Really?
Yep.
Let's find out more about that after I tell you about North American Banking Company. Not fake, true, authentic, and a family-owned business that's here to take care of you and also all of your banking needs, whether you're looking at for your family, for your business, whatever the case might be. They're phenomenal. I have made the switch from my big national bank, and I am so glad that I did. And you know what? Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. They still offer the same online and mobile banking options as all those other big national banks, but the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. And you know what? Locally owned and operated. And that means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So this helps all of you business owners solve problems quickly and expand your business with confidence. They deal with numbers every single day, but you are never one of them. So you can check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. The Weekly Scramble. We will be right back. All right, you teased something about the largest something or other that's going to be the biggest thing ever.
So not everybody loves Elon Musk. I think he's
polarizing.
He's polarizing. I think he's fantastically interesting. And Elon Musk and Tesla AI.
By the way, just give a quick shout out. When he joins Rogan,
just great.
It's you have to listen to the entire thing. It's phenomenal.
Must to listen.
Anyway, so I'm sorry, I got you off track.
So he has invented, Tesla AI has invented something called Optimus. If you're not familiar with Optimus, it is a full-standing humanoid robot.
He was a transformer.
Yeah, that was Optimus Prime. This is just straight old Optimus,
gotcha.
Right? That's probably where he got the name because he probably loved Transformers when he was a kid. That's the way.
Who didn't?
We all did.
Yeah.
So it is currently the Gen 3 version is being produced right now in Tesla factories. And Tesla's not going to be a car company. It's going to be a robotics company here in just a very, very short bit.
Yep.
They said that every man, woman, and child on planet Earth will have one of these. Maybe not Optimus, but they'll have a humanoid-like robot. Right now, it can do all of your cooking, all of your cleaning, your yard work. It can dance with you. It can run. It can do just about, it moves kind of human-like, right? It walks a little bit like our former president, Joe Biden, you know, when he walks like he has pins, right? There's a little bit of weirdness in the walk. These Optimus robots right now are all walking through Tesla factories, and they'll greet people coming in. Hey, nice to meet you, Bob. Or nice to see you, Bob. Come on in. And they greet people. They go get people lunch. They do things right now in the factories. They think that as early as 2026, and Elon's not always great on his time, right? He's not always great with what day he's going to get something out, and not always great on the price. They think it's going to be a little bit more than $20,000. If you never had to cook another meal again, Reverse, and you could have this robot, and it could look in your refrigerator and say, I can make you, and name off 80 things that it can make you based on the ingredients in your refrigerator, and then go ahead and make that. It can do small tactile things with its fingers, like take a rose petal off of a rose, right? Which is really, really hard to do. And there's going to be a day that, and right now, I don't know how to say this, they're not made to physically interact with humans. Like, it's not the touch of a fine lady, right?
Well, do you know where I was going?
Where are you going?
Okay. We're in a judge-free zone, right?
You're safe to say whatever you want.
Have you seen the Megan Fox movie?
Which one?
It's called, is it Subservient? Something?
Is she a robot?
She is.
Okay. I'm in. That's right.
Well, so was I.
Give me two of them. I'll take two.
Hang with me here.
Okay, all right.
So you keep going because I want to pull up the plot and why this absolutely terrifies me.
This could be terrifying, right? And these machines are very powerful. And I just think at my home, if I walked inside, I could say, hey, stay up all night to make sure no one comes into the yard. Go tomorrow and go mow the yard. And make me something for lunch. I need a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Clean up the dishes. And it just did all of that work. You know how much time that is going to free up humanity?
Okay. I agree. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
But let me, because, Lord knows people in today's age need more free time. Mm-hmm. People need to get their ass back to work is what they need to do. Okay. Subservience is a 2024 American science fiction thriller directed by S.K. Dale from a screenplay. That doesn't matter. It stars Megan Fox, whose name is Alice.
Mm-hmm.
It stars Megan Fox as Alice as an artificially intelligent, is it gynoid? Is that how you spell it?
I don't know if you can say that on the.
Well, what
I don't
is
know
it?
if you can say that
Gynoid. Gynoid?
I know, but that sounds dirty.
Okay, I don't know how to pronounce
that's
it.
what a woman, a robot's private parts are called.
Feminine humanoid robot is how that thing is.
Maybe it would be gynoid.
Okay, I'm just going to say robot.
Okay, hold on. Let me type that in because you might have just said the first robot sex word we've ever heard.
Okay.
Gynoid?
Yes. And who gains sentience and becomes hostile, and Michelle Marone as her purchaser. The film also stars a couple other people. Okay, here's the plot. Mm-hmm. The woman, it's a family. So it's the husband, it's the wife, it's the two kids. And the wife becomes ill. All right? When a wife becomes sick, a struggling father buys a lifelike AI android named Alice to help with the housework.
Okay.
Things seem fine until Alice suddenly becomes self-aware and wants everything its new family has to offer, including
him,
the affection of its owner.
Sure.
And I got to tell you, trailer's worth it.
So you got Megan Fox fighting for you with bionic strength. And every blue moon, you got to plug her into the wall. That's what you have to do to make her happy. You just plug her in so she's full powered. Maybe she knows how to do that herself. Life's going to change so fast in the next 5 years. A gynoid, Gynoid, gynoid refers to a female-shaped humanoid robot.
Yes.
A gynoid. That's all right. I'm going to look up some other terms. Does this computer connect to anything where the bell's gonna ring in IT? And they say, "What are you looking up?"
They usually know, the IT department, who are huge fans of GL. They usually know that if stuff is looked up down here, they tend to go, "Okay, well that was either Reavers or Joe," and we'll just kind of look the other way. The movie, for those of you that weren't familiar, it did not do very well. It received 49% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Although every guy alive said, "Boy, I hated sitting through that entire 2.5 hours.
It was horrible." When she was fighting for him.
The reason why I brought this up is I just don't like the avenue that we're heading down with a lot of this.
Okay. Well, would you not want a robot in your home?
No.
Why?
Because.
To do your dishes?
No.
What about your laundry?
The dishwasher does my dishes.
No. But you still have to. That's almost a ton of labor having to put the dishes in the dishwasher.
I'm not joking. It takes me, because I do all the laundry in my house. Mm-hmm. I do all the dish. Well, sure.
Sorry.
But no, it takes me, we don't put dishes in the sink. We just put them right in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And okay, you start it at night. Mm-hmm. I put the dishes away in the morning. It takes me less than 2 minutes to empty the dishwasher.
Why would I have to say you could have that 2 minutes to do anything else you wanted? You could prep for GL.
I'm okay. Because you know what I do is my boys are sitting down having breakfast, and I put dishes away, and we BS to each other.
I wonder, okay, one of the other jobs that these optimists can do, which I think is really, really important right now, is home health care. Right? So it can, if someone can't get out of bed, it can lift someone up.
Okay, that I see. If you had, let's say, if you had an elderly parent and you weren't able to physically take care of them 24 hours a day, I would 100% see the logic in something
there,
like this.
It's keeping you safe.
Absolutely.
If you fall over, it can call somebody or help you up.
I would always, isn't anyone else alarmed by what might be?
Here's one thing that you need to know about me, Reavers. Someday, if I'm lucky enough to get old, no one loves me enough to wipe my butt. If there's no one, I can look at my sweet kids that they love me, but I'm not going to say, "Hey, you need to do this." But a Megan Fox Optimist lookalike, she'd get back there with a long scrubber and just get that undercarriage all the way clean.
Is everything taken care of, Master?
Yes. I mean, think of that. That is going to change. I am not wrong when I say everything that we know today is going to be completely different in 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months.
I agree with you completely. Yeah.
I mean, it's when I'm walking down the road and I go to a movie and there's going to be an optimist sitting next to a guy at the movie and they're talking to each other. And I don't know. And they think the optimist is going to have human-like skin. It won't look like a robot. They're going to try to make it look as human as possible. I mean, that's weird. What would you get? What color and style would you get? Would you get a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
I was just going to say, because when you Google search Megan Fox, subservience.
Yes.
To look up the movie description.
Sure.
If you do hit images just by accident, like I just happen to do, it can be terribly distracting.
Yes.
I'll just put it that way. Anywho.
Well, I'm not going to do that, although it looks like I'm doing it.
But she's kind of crazy in real life. Isn't she nuts?
Reavers. Isn't there a graph for that?
The hot crazy matrix.
The hot crazy matrix. I mean, if she's not, she's about as pretty as people get, right? Don't you think she's a very pretty person?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, as a star.
Yeah.
Like she's about as I can't think of many stars that I think
terrible
are prettier
actor,
than her.
but yes, she's very.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Did you watch the Transformers movie?
Who cares? Did you? What's funny about that is like, did you watch the Transformers movie? The acting was incredible. Who gives a crap about the acting in the freaking stupid Transformer movie? God, who cares?
Is she still married to the dude from 90210?
No, she's married to Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, I did know that. But wait, am I wrong? Was she not married to
David Austin Green? Brian Austin Green?
Right,
I think so.
Weren't they married? I thought so, too.
What I love about that whole thing is Brian Austin Green, somewhere in this world, there's somebody that's sick of it. And he said, good luck to you. I would rather, even though you're a smoke show, I would rather not ever deal with you again.
You're a 12 out of 10, but no thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and lock the door when you leave.
Oh, my goodness.
But if she would have been a robot, he could just unplugged her.
So that's a good point. Maybe he did. Mm-hmm. But that's my point. I don't really need a robot in my life. I really, really don't need a robot in my life.
I think you're high. And I say that with all due respect.
I don't know that I want that. I really don't.
I wonder what's going to happen when we create all of this efficiency in our lives. Will we just become so efficient that we'll be actually able to cure and really take humanity to a next level? Or will we just get so dim-witted because we won't really have any real knowledge anymore?
I'm not joking when I say this. I already think that our society has such a addiction to technology that's one of the main reasons why I'm fearful of things like this. Mm-hmm. Look at just walk down a busy street right now.
Yeah.
We're all zombies.
Yep.
Everyone's looking at their phone. Everyone's got their earbuds.
Look at how many people walk into traffic now because they're just not paying attention.
Or even drive down 35 right now, and no one is paying attention.
Yep.
Everyone's addicted to their devices.
It is true, but that next device is going to be an Optimus. I think I'm going to invest more in, one other caveat to this story about Elon Musk is Elon's fighting for that $1 trillion pay package, right?
Yep.
A contract that he wrote when Tesla was nothing, and the board said, yeah, we'll be glad to pay you this if you can create that kind of wealth in this company, right? They looked at Elon like he was a fool, and he actually did it, and he should hypothetically get a $1 trillion payday, right? That's fair because that's the contract he wrote. He says if he doesn't get that payday, he's not going to build Optimus. He's not going to do it. And one of the big things about what he wants to control with Tesla is that he always wants to be the one in control. So if he doesn't get that pay package, it's his company. If he doesn't get that pay package, he's not going to build Optimus, which will in turn slowly destroy and diminish the value of Tesla. So it's better for them to give him that $1 trillion pay package or whatever it turns out to be and let him go ahead and build the number one consumer electronic in the history of consumer electronics.
I mean, I didn't think I'd go down this road, but if he's going to do that, give him that type of an ultimatum, isn't he, in effect, making himself a target?
I don't know. I mean,
that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of. I know $1 trillion is a lot. Let me restate that. I have no concept of what $1 trillion is, right? It's all just funny money.
Not.
Right? It's all just funny money. I mean, I know that I had like $11 in my wallet when I looked earlier today.
Right.
I don't know how that relates to $1 trillion, but I know $11.
I'm sitting here going, should I get gas today or tomorrow?
Yes. Can I buy another $5 lottery ticket? But he signed a contract. They signed a contract with Elon that said if you somehow magically perform, which you never will because you're obviously too stupid to be able to do it, all right? That's what they must have thought.
That's what they thought, yep.
And then he went ahead and did it, and now he's saying, hey, I don't give a crap. You pay me what you said you were going to pay me. I've been doing this for free. He's been working relatively for free all this time. Well, go ahead and pay him his money. That's contractual law in the United States.
And you can only stand to benefit and to gain by him continuing to achieve.
Get him excited about building Optimus. I got to come up with a different name for my Optimus.
Or you know what else he'll do? You don't want to pay me? Okay, cool. I'm going to start Company Acme. And I'm going to tear you guys to shreds.
I think that's very possible. But what he said is when he was learning to build cars, he was actually learning how to build robots. Because and all these factories that they're building Teslas in can be retooled to build these Optimus. Oof. So he's set above anybody else right now because he has the manufacturing know-how to get these things mass produced. And if every person in the world has one standing next to it all day long, I think, would that double my cost of going to a movie? I think you can't pay. Or would you just tell your gynoid, because that's what I'm going to have. Gynoid?
Right.
The female-shaped robot?
No, they have a cream for that.
Yeah, yes. I just tell my gynoid to wait out in the car, right? Oh, you know what would suck, though, in the winter? You get out there and you say, hey, how you doing? And they're like, I'm doing.
Oh, my God.
Because they're frozen, right? Their joints are all like the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. Remember before he could move?
Had the oil, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
That's
gracious.
me doing the Tin Man. If you're not watching this on YouTube,
You're missing
you could have
out.
seen me acting as the Tin Man because I looked pretty much like him.
Let's talk about our friends at We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. Oh, I have a bone to pick with you. Or I don't have a bone to pick with you, but the mayor does.
Okay.
What's his Fratelloni's location?
Probably one of the on Grand Avenue.
He said you guys are out of the cashews, and he's very upset with you.
I don't believe that's true, but maybe.
Well, it is Joe.
Okay.
So, just FYI.
Sure.
I was told to relay the message.
That it's very possible.
And I delivered it to you much kinder than he delivered it to me.
It is, briefly, I know this is a commercial for them, but I'll briefly give you this data. We sell a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
And every blue moon is like, oh my gosh, like we get them in 24s at a time or something. And by the time we get down to 10, we order another 24 and boom, they're gone.
He told me today he eats those cashews as a snack every single day.
Yeah. They're good.
He helps it keeps me regular. Well, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
I'm sure the family appreciates
Tell
that
it to
kind
the gynoid.
note. Right.
You don't need to hear that.
But here's the deal. If you're in charge of your corporate holiday gifting this year, then We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com has got you covered. Got you taken care of, excuse me.
Covered.
Here's the deal. It's locally roasted, it's family owned, and it's dangerously good. Their corporate gift tins are fresh, festive, and also unforgettable. Whether you're thanking clients, rewarding employees, or just spreading holiday cheer, they've got you taken care of. So call them directly, 612-781-6596, or visit their website at wearenutsmn.com. You can download the corporate gifting catalog. It's right there on the homepage. You pick your tins, the cashews, the mixed nuts, the chocolate almonds, the hokey pokey popcorn, even the famous four. You send them your gift list, and then they're going to pack, personalize, and then ship each tin, even with custom enclosure cards featuring your company's logo and also your personal message. If you want those by Christmas, you've only got a couple of days left. You got to get your orders in by November 14th if you want those by Christmas. Again, wearenutsmn.com, the Weekly Scramble. We will be right back. Okay, I wasn't sure if I wanted to bring up this story, but I have to for a couple of reasons. I told you this at least a year, if not 2 years ago, that this mixture of professional sports, gambling, and players, I said this way back when, and I am not a prude, by the way. If a guy wants to go place a bet on a football game, go right ahead.
Sure.
I don't care. I've just
don't
never
control the outcome of the football game.
I've just never been a big gambler personally. Like, I love playing euchre with my family. It's one of my favorite. In fact, I'm pretty damn good, by the way.
Well, congratulations.
Toot my own horn here. But I've just never been a big gambler. Yeah, I'll buy a Powerball ticket every once in a while. I work too hard for my money. I don't want to give it away. That's just always kind of been my philosophy. But again, you know, if I'm at a place that's got a casino, I'll put down $10 on a football game. So I don't look down upon it. That's not my message at all. But however, I have to bring up this story because it made me laugh so hard I wanted to cry. Michael, there's two Cleveland Indian pitchers, and I don't call them the Guardians. There are two Cleveland Indians pitchers by the name of Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. Well, they have now been indicted on charges that they took bribes from sports bettors to throw certain types of pitches, including tossing balls in the dirt instead of strikes, to ensure successful bets. According to the indictment unsealed Sunday in federal court in Brooklyn, the highly paid pitchers took several $1,000 in payoffs to help two unnamed gamblers from their native Dominican Republic win at least $460,000 on in-game prop bets on the speed and also the outcome of certain pitches. Clase, the Guardians' former closer, and Ortiz, who was a starter, have been on non-disciplinary paid leave since July when MLB started investigating what they had said was unusually high in-game betting activity when they pitched. If you've seen any of these videos where it's always the first pitch of an inning,
okay,
and they'll spike the ball in the dirt or they'll throw it to the backstop or whatever, you're saying, well, that's kind of weird. And this Clase dude was arguably the best relief pitcher in baseball. He was that good. He was set to make $1 billion in a contract. But the fact that these guys, they were either compromised or they knew people and just thought, well, no one's going to notice this.
Yeah, I'll just throw this pitch in the dirt. My buddy can make a couple $1,000 down in the Dominican.
But to throw away not only to throw away your entire career, you're going to prison for this.
You threw away your entire life, not just your baseball career. Because don't they have potential to be in prison for up to like 50 years?
Well, apparently, when I read further into this, and I don't want to bore the audience with too many of the details, Clase was the ringleader in all of this.
Okay.
And he basically got other people to make all these side bets. And you're thinking, okay, in total, you won $460,000, which to you and to me and to everyone else, that's a lot of money. To this guy, that's not even
a week of work.
Yes.
It's a week. Yeah.
You threw away a potentially $15 million a year career because you were an idiot and thought no one was going to notice.
Think of that, Reavers. And think of that.
The reason I get so heated about this very topic is what's happening now, whether it was the NBA story from a week or two ago to now this story. I've always been a little bit skeptical of football because there's like, well, why is that flag just thrown? Or because of the way a referee can easily manipulate a certain play. And football's such a game of momentum that I don't doubt for a second that there's some type of influence from the outside on games. That's what's going to get lost in sports. The beauty of professional sports right now is that the intrigue is the fact that you don't know what's going to happen. Once you remove that or raise suspicion about this said outcome, that's when people are going to start tuning away. And that's going to be a big, big problem because right now, from a live television perspective, live sports is pretty much the only thing people watch in real time right now.
I know this is going to be a stupid transition.
Go ahead.
I'm not leaving this topic, but do you just picture a day where gynoids or androids will be standing on the field for a baseball game or standing on the field for a football game and just not have anything into it? Not that
in our lifetime, no.
I think it's going to be not in our lifetime. It's going to be in 2 or 3 years.
No, it won't be that soon.
Okay, you can't get high school sports, high school umpires anymore. Right? No one wants to do fifth grade umpires.
You're saying that they would be an umpire.
They would be the umpire or the referee.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant be the athlete. I'm sorry.
No, not the athlete. They're going to be the ones making the calls. They're going to say, that ball was not, that is a strike. In fact, it was 1.3 centimeters in the box or whatever.
2 or 3 years, no. Within 10 years, yes.
Yeah. So, and I know you always bring this up, doesn't mean that they can't be compromised. Right?
Sure.
Someone could do something to them. But the
Houston Astros will get a hold of the robot umpire and say, well, we're just going to reconfigure this chip deal in the back, and then we'll be on the winning end.
Of the robot's brain. Wasn't there just an SEC a football referee that's been banned for life?
Yes. And that's the other part I was going to bring up. With him and, of course, Tim Donaghy with the NBA wrote a book about how he deliberately influenced games, and then I believe served time as a result of that. I think he's out of prison now. But he wrote a book about, of course I did. This is exactly what I did because I had money on the game that I was reffing. And it's just, once we lose that element, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The whole intrigue of sports is, again, not knowing the outcome.
Yeah, it is really weird. Do you know what's going to happen to this guy, this SEC guy? I haven't read all that story, but it's interesting to ban a ref for life. Or they say, hey, he's done.
But the problem, too, is when people say, well, there's too many athletes that wouldn't want to risk that. That is absolutely true. Mm-hmm. However, there's so many guys. I'm not saying gals couldn't be involved. I'm just saying there's too many athletes out there that know that they have just a little sliver of time to play this sport.
Sure.
And to them, $460,000 is a lot of money. And what the hell do I care? I'm going to be out of this sport in a year or 2 years anyway, right?
One problem is they're not understanding math. And then all of a sudden, when the gambling sites say, this pitcher normally has $100,000 on his prop bets, and now there's $800,000 on him.
Right.
There's something wrong with this, and they know it instantaneously. They might not know who's doing it, but they know there's illegal action on that right off the bat.
I was listening to an interview, and it's basically called there's a red flag alert system that literally was designed for this very thing, right? And it's
just math,
yeah. And it's like, well, wait a minute, this is unusual activity, and it's happening over and over and over again. They really do need to seriously consider just getting rid of prop bets. And that would eliminate a lot of this stuff.
Prop bets are the only thing that gambling sites make money on.
Really?
Yeah. Prop bets and parlays, they make every single one of their dollars on prop bets and parlays. Everything else is just a wash.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so without those, they're not around.
So actual
parlays are
game
incredibly
outcomes.
important.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the parlays are...
That's pie in the sky thinking.
Yeah, they're never going to get rid of it. You know, we did talk about the new mayor-elect, in St. Paul, and I was really fascinated by the fact that she was in finance and that she understood math. She could understand that there's a bunch of action going against this pitcher's first parlay pitch, right? And I heard you met her.
Yeah, so she was in studio on GL earlier today, and she brought up something very interesting about your city, the city of St. Paul. And this might be worth expanding on further down the line, but she's going to create a program called the Urban Wealth Fund. Are you familiar with this at all?
No, but I kind of got the name of it.
So she said this is being done in other cities, and I assumed... And I asked her this once we were done with the segment. Okay. But the cities she was referring to are in different countries. So basically what happens is, and I'm going to butcher this to you know what, but I immediately thought of you. So what the city can do is, so many of these corporate office towers are basically vacant and thus then not creating any type of tax revenue for the city. Well, what we would do then is basically acquire the building and we become the landlord of that, and we offer incentives to, hey, bring your company downtown. And I just thought, and she did it way better than I did. So when you listen to it today, then you can give me feedback. But I instantly thought of you because I thought, why aren't more cities doing this? I don't know what the downside of that could possibly be, because the city and everybody else wins when more people are downtown working.
True, but absolutely the city does win. That's one of the big problems I have with Walls is he's not calling state employees back to work. Right? They're still remote. But the one problem with the city buying buildings is all of a sudden now the city owns the building. The property tax is going from the city to the city because the city owns the building, right? And the city makes most of their money from the property taxes of those buildings, right? But if you can get people downtown, then everything increases in value, and then you can charge more property tax, and then you can go out and sell those buildings again, right? You turn the city back on, for lack of a better term, and now values of properties double. You know, instead of getting $100,000 for a building, you're getting $1 million in tax revenue, and that's a big win.
Sure.
Could the city do that? You know, other places have the sovereign wealth funds, right? Out in Saudi Arabia, they have a sovereign wealth fund where they're collecting so much cash that everybody lives off that cash. I would love to hear more about that, because that's the kind of thinking we need, instead of saying, hey, let's give everybody $14 to start up a college fund when they're born. It's like, that's not it. Like, we need to use the market to win this.
Right.
And I would love, so she was a pretty sharp cookie, as I was saying.
I was very impressed with her. I really was.
And she came on the show, which is undemocratic of her.
Yeah.
Right? Because not a lot of Democrats come on the show on GL, yet every single Democrat that's ever been on the show has been treated with nothing but respect.
Well, that, and she said, you know, I was kind of nervous about coming on because I didn't know what to expect. And Joe said, what did you think I was going to say to you? Yeah. I love St. Paul. I want St. Paul to win.
Did he ask tough questions? I mean, it's kind of hard. She's not even mayor yet.
I didn't. I mean, tough. I didn't think so. I mean, I thought everything was fair.
Did he talk property taxes?
Everything, yes. I think you'll really, really enjoy the conversation.
I'm really interested in to see what she thinks of with the Save Our Streets, the Summit Avenue.
Sure. You know what? Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. Here's what I'm going to do for you. You listen to the show.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a homework assignment.
Okay. Yes.
And I want to talk about this very thing on our next episode. Yes. Okay. Because I think I would really, because you and your family are one of the people that has been vastly invested into Minneapolis and St. Paul. I'd love to get your constructive feedback on what would work and what wouldn't work. I think that'd be really interesting.
Well, I'd love to meet her. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I do know that a lot of people are talking about her, but not enough people are talking about dried grapes.
Okay.
It's all about raising awareness, Reavers. Raising awareness. Reavers, you are the best.
California Raisins. They were a great band. Please do us a favor, rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. It helps other people find the show. It helps us out as well, and we appreciate each and every single one of you. His name is Mike Fratelloni. My name is Chris Reavers. Thank you so very much for listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. We'll talk to you again next time, and until then, cheers.